Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at the State of the City meeting for Jenks. As Jenks City Manager, it has been my honor to serve alongside some of the greatest people I know in the greatest city I know. This past year brought exceptional growth and improvement that is moving us towards a future which will continue to enhance the lives of Jenks residents and businesses. Today, we have the opportunity to hear from some of the individuals who are hard at work, repairing our streets, supporting our businesses, protecting our city, and advancing our community in notable ways. So let's dive in. I get to have an impact on a city that some of the decisions we make will be affecting people for 100 years. I always tell people when we're dealing with a municipality, we've been here for 100 years and we're going to be here for at least another 100 years. And my goal is to literally make people's lives better. And so I take a lot of pride in that, and it brings me a lot of satisfaction. We are the fastest growing city in the state of Oklahoma, and the guiding principle is to try to do the most good for the most people. In any situation, people are going to disagree. And oftentimes when we have development or we have projects, we only have so many resources, we only have so much land, and so we have to try to make a decision that's going to have a positive impact on the most people. And I think that we have an opportunity to have really special things come to Jenks that are unique and will continue to push us forward as a tourist destination. We have the Riverwalk, we have the Oklahoma Aquarium, we're going to have an outlet mall, and we're going to have a low water dam. And I think that we're going to have some really exciting developments surrounding the outlet mall, but it will transform the city in terms of traffic and other infrastructure needs. And so we have to be very cognizant of that in our planning and allocation of resources to ensure that it has the least amount of actual day-to-day impact on our citizens. And that's something we've been dealing with and prioritizing over the last couple years. The number one thing that citizens can do if they want to be involved is simply pick up the phone. I make myself available, department directors make themselves available. I frankly really enjoy when we have a resident that picks up the phone and gives me a call, and I really enjoy meeting with them and hearing their perspective, because I think from my vantage point, I have one view and the resident has another view, and I don't know what they know, and they may not know what I know. And so to be able to come together and talk through issues is really invaluable. And beyond all of our infrastructure planning that we accomplished this year, we've also been working with commercial developers on close to $1 billion worth of commercial development within the city of Jenks that is both going to serve the citizens and provide more tax revenue for the city so we can provide better services to our citizens. And that's something that we're very proud of and very excited about.
I've always found that it was interesting to see how things go together, how things work. And then as I got older and more mature, finding out, well, how can we design things that will be more beneficial to people and those that are using those things. My name is Chris Cloyd. I'm the city engineer for the city of Jenks. City engineer basically just manages the engineering department. First, we've got to create and maintain the design criteria, the standards, and the specifications for the city. And then we plan, design, and manage the construction for all public infrastructure. What's most rewarding is getting to help people, getting to help the citizens, bringing new things that they enjoy, like a new road that was bumpy, now it's smooth, or people that weren't able to get on the water system but we're bringing water to where they are, or sanitary sewer, something like that that makes their life easier. And that's what engineering really is about, is how do we make people's lives easier. We've got a lot of projects that we're either under design or in the middle of construction on. First, the one that's most important and on everybody's mind is the Elm Street widening project from 111th Street to 131st Street. This is going to widen Elm Street in that area from 3 lanes to 5 lanes. It's going to add in sidewalks and trails along the side. It's going to add in storm sewer system, curb and gutter, and it's going to really help with traffic backup that we currently experience on the major street, one of the major streets in the city of Jenks. The next one is the Main Street project. That project is under construction right now. That project itself will add curb and gutter, storm sewer system to Main Street from Elm Street to First Street. It'll add in sidewalks on both sides of the street. It'll also reconstruct and put in sidewalks along Birch Street. And the last one is the Elwood Improvement Project, and that's going from 111th Street to 96th Street. It's going to reconstruct that roadway, put in shoulders on both sides of the street, reconstruct the bridges over Coal Creek and over Polecat Creek, add a trail on the east side. So we'll have a lot more connectivity for pedestrians in the city, but also traffic should flow a lot smoother once these projects are done. I think for residents, it's going to be a more fun time to where they don't have to go somewhere else to really enjoy themselves from a family perspective, recreation perspective, going to a restaurant or to a shopping area that a lot of people want to go to. They can stay at home. They don't have to go as far. And all of that money stays in the community, which is really good because the sales tax dollars that are generated from that get to go back into the infrastructure again to make things easier for people to travel around, to have nice things in their parks. And so it's an exciting time because there's a lot of great, interesting things and fun things coming to the city of Jenks.
I pretty much take care of everything above and below ground. We want this to be a destination city. And Jenks is one of the prettiest cities I've been to. The idea is to make Jenks an attractive place to visit. Our infrastructure throughout the country is aging, and that's something that Jenks is really focused in on, is improving their infrastructure. What I like about it is the leadership is very well aware of infrastructure, and it's very pleasant working with them, knowing that you're going to get the support to go ahead and do major projects to make it better for the citizens. We've done a lot of water line repairs, some projects that's been 10, 15 years old, and now they're all new again. And our productivity, I think, is probably the highest it's been in a long, long time. I see Jenks moving forward on about everything. And what I like about it is I'm part of that. And I'm part of the expansion. And it's a lot of fun doing these projects and getting things ready for the expansion to make things look a lot better. I think that Jenks' quality far surpasses many, many towns, even in this area. I feel good about that. And I'm so happy with the support that we get. It makes your job a lot easier, a lot nicer when you get that support. And I think we're a good team, and I'm proud to be part of that.
I really wanted to go back to school, and at that point, I had seen and lived a lot of life. And what I really saw and what really bothered me the most during that entire time was if you did not make above a certain pay grade and you were a single woman, it was very, very difficult to find good housing and quality schools. And I really could see the benefit if you're the policymaker, if you're the person walking the public through that process where you can make a difference. And I said, this is what I want to do. And when I sit down with a developer or with a citizen and we're talking about their project, I genuinely talk to them from the heart of a mom, from the heart of a widow, from the heart of a grandmother. What is it going to be like for me to drag 3 grandchildren down this street into this project for that experience? Where am I going to go when I'm done? Is there going to be someplace close where we can grab something to eat? How is it going to feel when we're walking? Do we feel safe? There is a lot that comes out from just having been in those circumstances and continue to be in those circumstances as a mom and or a grandmother. When the project is completed and you're driving through the city and you have someone in the car with you and you're like, I helped get that project across the finish line. It feels very personal because you know the hours that you spent, the relationships that were built. When you have a good program, that's where you invite the public and you have participation with the public and you sit down together and you really hammer out who are we, where do we want to go, what do we want our city to look like moving forward. And it's out of those policies that you find out the downtown Main Street is really important to a community. So that says in the future we need to dedicate dollars to Main Street. You find out in those conversations that the river is very important. It's really through that partnership with the public that you begin to lay out the policies and the direction for the future of the city. The thing that I'm most excited about is the downtown master plan. We've been talking about this for a couple of years. We have some great bones, we have some great businesses, we have some great buildings. How can we take that, protect it, and then make it even better? What does the streetscape look like? How does it feel? How can we improve it? What types of trees are we going to use? And how is it going to be different and interesting from the other surrounding communities? We are in a competition with the other cities. How do we bring that attention and still keep the charm? How do we blend that old heritage and character with all the new stuff that's coming? And I think that's going to be challenging, but it's probably the most excited I am about anything. The citizens of this community are outstanding and amazing. They really want to see quality projects coming into their city, and they have the right leadership. We are all working on one goal and one direction together. I think that's really important.
Well, I have been here for 26 years, been a calling, and so I started when I was 24 years old, and obviously I'm 50 now, so, been here for a long time, and I've seen Jenks grow from, a population of around 9,000 to right at 30,000, just under 30,000 right now. I've seen the roads change a lot. I've seen just a lot of different things come in over the years. With what we have coming in now, we definitely are going to have to grow, and there's some very big challenges ahead of us over the next couple of years, trying to police and keep the level of customer service that we've come to be known for. We made some changes to our rank structure, bringing in captains to head divisions, and we promoted an assistant chief. And so we are trying to lay the structure for a bigger department in the future, and it just allows us to have a more manageable span of control when coming to dealing with problems that we're now trying to assign. One of the things that we've done is we have a mental health unit that follows up on all mental health calls in the city. So that is that's a major structural change that we've implemented in the last year and a half. So our guys that we have in these positions are both master degree professionals in mental health and police officers. And they're very connected and very respected in the mental health community. So I think that it enables them to get their foot in the door with mental health providers and able to help the citizens get those services that they need. In the next 5 years, I hope to see the police department expanded where we have the personnel to continue down that path. We're still one of the safest cities in the country. We strive to continue that. I'm very blessed and fortunate that the city's allowed me to bring that vision and do that over the last 26 years.
Being able to be a chief of a department like Jenks with, in my opinion, we have the best firefighters by far in the area. Skilled, trained, passionate about the job. I would put our crew guys, 4 guys in our trucks against any 4 guys anywhere in the city, and our guys would outperform them, out-passion them, and out-hard them. Our first increase in staffing ever happened this last budget cycle. So the last time the department had an increase in staffing was in 2006. Since that time, in 2006, if you know Jenks' history, how they've grown as a city, we've been the fastest growing city in the area, but our staffing remained the same. So in last year's budget cycle, we were able to add 3 additional firefighters and a fire marshal, which is a great start to moving our staffing up to really where we need to be for the city. When I started, we had some undersized trucks. So we were able to, with the city's backing, actually purchase some new, like the truck behind us, the big ladder truck, a new engine as well. And then the city's continued to have that improvement mindset where they've actually allowed us to order an additional rescue unit coming up and another ladder coming up. And then on the facility-wise, the city's actually working on a new fire station 1 for downtown to replace that station that's aged out. Now, a few things in the last 12 months have been particularly exciting. One is we had our second ever academy. We used to outsource our training for our new recruits, but we have a crew of guys that have come along and have really stepped up and wanted to lead that area of the department and have done 10-week academies now for the second time in the last 12 months. And our candidates that we're getting out of those academies are so much stronger, better prepared than they were when we were outsourcing that training. When you're looking at a team environment, that's everything fire service is team. These guys live here for 24 hours. They're here a third of their lives, literally, so that having that team environment inside the stations is vital. Training is the other side of it. The city's continued to invest in our training. We travel to FDICs in Minneapolis, and that's actually the largest firefighter conference in the world. The city's continued to have that investment in us as training-wise and throughout the department. I'm looking forward to continued growth. I mean, Jenks, I think, is just an untapped resource. And as that growth happens, whether that be retail, shopping, entertainment, restaurants, all those things are more options and more opportunities for us to continue to enhance our service as a fire department. When you look at the fire department and what we offer and what we have to do, there's a lot of dangers that are out there. One thing to know is that we're here and we're going to come if you guys call.
I am a CPA, licensed CPA in Texas. Started off in auditing, and then we moved here to Oklahoma, to the Tulsa area about 6.5 years ago, and started working for a hospital here, and then moved over to the city of Jenks as the deputy finance director. 6 months later, unfortunately, our previous finance director passed away, Josh McCorkle, and I was the lucky one to take over. From the finance perspective, the priority is accountability and safeguarding the city's assets. So making sure that we are transparent in the city operations. So whether it's through the annual audit or the budget that we prepare, that is the priority for finance, making sure that we keep the public's trust and being transparent in what we do. The lifeblood of municipalities in Oklahoma is sales tax. So what you purchase at Walmart, what you purchase at Reese's or at the aquarium, all of that generates sales tax for the city. Salaries for PD, for police, for fire, for public works, for legal, city management, finance department. The other 1% goes to 1 cent capital, which is for capital projects. That's where the roads get built or maintained. That's where police vehicles, fire trucks. So it's that 1% or 1 cent capital that pays for that. And then the 0.55% is what we call the City of Jenks Vision Fund. And it's for essentially the low water dam. So from every dollar of sales that happens here in Jenks, 0.55% gets remitted to that fund, and it's to essentially pay for the low water dam, as well as other infrastructure projects. I think we are pretty conservative in our approach to how we handle the city's finances, making sure that we don't overextend ourselves, and also that we don't spend money that we don't currently have. I think over the past couple of years, we've always kind of come in under budget for what we anticipate. So we kind of build up a bit of a reserve, and we've been proactive in creating reserves for the city that kind of strengthen its financial position. Policy may be impacted or influenced. I think the city's direction is kind of forward. I'm excited that in the future, that with all this economic development that is happening in the city, that will provide the funds that will be able to cover the requests from our departments.
The aquarium basically helps Jenks become a destination. And so we have about 400,000 people a year come through the door, and about 60% of those people are out of town. So we really, that's kind of what our goal is to have Jenks become a destination. I'm passionate about everything, and you have to have passion, to build beautiful exhibits and to have a place that people have fun at. Things we're looking forward to the most is some of the new exhibits that we plan on, as well as we are building a huge, over 10,000 square feet research center. It also holds animals that we bring in or animals that need to grow to be on exhibit. And we also are about to start remodeling. You know, we do a lot of remodeling at the aquarium. I would say one of the biggest things we've added is a aquarium-themed, beautiful aquarium-themed carousel. You know, that's the first thing you see when you walk in the door, and it really is a work of art. And kids love riding it. We have all kinds of animals, and it's all aquarium-themed. And so another thing we did is we opened our Jellyfish Touch exhibit. So believe it or not, there's species of jellyfish that you can touch, and they won't sting you. And all those jellyfish, we actually are born or raised at the aquarium. So they're all Okies. And we're also gonna have it set up to where we have what's called stingray therapy. And that's where we can bring kids with special needs and actually put a wetsuit on them and put them in the exhibit, it's very shallow, and have stingrays swim up into their lap where they can pet them. So there's always something new for people to see. My favorite animal has got to be the bull sharks. That's kind of a given. And one of the main reasons is they're just such a fascinating shark. They're unlike any other shark. They can go into fresh water. They're actually one of the most dangerous sharks in the world, but they're not found in aquariums. So we have the only collection in the U.S., actually in North America, and possibly in the Western Hemisphere, and we definitely have the largest collection in the world. My favorite exhibit is actually not an exhibit. It's our statue that's out front. It's a bronze statue of 3 bull sharks. And believe it or not, I'm the artist of that statue. And so I really love that statue, as you can imagine. And on the side of it, it has my son's name with a little message. And my son's name is Theo. And so it says, "Theo, do what you love, son." And that's kind of the theme here. You know, we want kids to come here and see things they've never seen before and get excited and have a passion for the ocean, and then seek out, fields in science, preferably marine biology.
I fell in love with Jenks early on. We started our very first business here on Main Street. It's been there over 12 years, Anthem Road Academy. And early on, right after opening our business, Josh Driscoll, my predecessor, came and introduced himself and just invited us to join the chamber. And so I did, and honestly fell in love with the Jenks community, fell in love with how easy it was to get engaged with our other businesses on Main Street and beyond, and how easy it was to get involved with the different city and community festivals and events. So we had students performing at every festival, and it just was really a great place to belong. And being part of a community when you're an entrepreneur, it gives you a lot of resources from people who have done things that you're fixing to face. You know, they've faced challenges that you're fixing to face. And so been very actively involved with the Jenks Chamber well over a decade, served on the board for 6 years, chair of the board, then past chair of the board. And then when Josh decided to move on, my husband was like, "Heather, oh my gosh, perfect fit. You love helping people with business. You love the Jenks community. It's been a really fun journey and I'm loving it." The Jenks Chamber's mission is honestly just to drive economic development, community vitality, and tourism for the city of Jenks. And so that plays out in a lot of different ways, a lot of events and programming throughout the year. That serve as a resource to educate people, so programming for small businesses or entrepreneurs, workforce development, all the way up to helping developers come in, find locations, helping businesses launch, and hosting groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings, grand openings, and things like that. So we do a lot of different things that help businesses launch, hopefully sustain, retain business here, and then if they want to, expand. And that's what happened for our business, and it's really fun to help other businesses succeed as well. And then of course, community vitality and tourism. A lot of the festivals and events that we host here, they attract thousands of people. So like our Food Truck Fest, over 20,000 people come to that event annually. We just did Sharks in the Park as a partnership with our Oklahoma Aquarium, and we saw thousands of families come out. We want to bring people together, whether it be business to business or business to consumer, or honestly just our citizens, and provide the best quality of life that we can here in Jenks. And I'm really excited because I think in the next 5-10 years, we're going to see that just continue to explode. And so I think citizens can trust that we have really great leaders, and they also can trust that their best interest is at our heart. And so I'm excited for what all we get to show coming just in the next year. We're really excited to be able to serve and service our citizens right here in our own city.
People want to live somewhere where they can spend their time. And Jenks has been the fastest growing city for the past 2 decades because it's safe, it's beautiful. We want people to be here all day long.
When I look at economic development, I look at what's a healthy ecosystem, what are the components that we already have available that are working well, and what are we missing? It's our responsibility to provide products, services, and an environment that serve all of the citizens here in Jenks.
So there's a need. There's a need for more restaurants, there's a need for more retail, there's a need for more residential, and obviously a need for more office. So there's 4 main areas that we're working on for economic development. The first is Main Street, and what we would traditionally think of as kind of the downtown area, just trying to get some vibrancy back to Main Street and really support the existing vendors as well. The second area of our that's a priority to us is the Creek Turnpike corridor between the river and Elm Street. And so on the north side, you have the Oklahoma Aquarium and that campus, which has about 20 to 30 acres that can be developed.
Where the chamber comes in is that we are there as a first point of reference. If a business or if a developer is coming in and they say, hey, I'm looking for site locations, do you have resources? Absolutely, yes, we do. We have a list on elevatejenks.com that is always updated about the properties that are for lease and for sale. We help them all the way through the process of launching a business here, expanding a business here, retaining a business here, connecting them to community here, whether that's business to business community or business to consumer. We want them to succeed. We want all businesses to succeed here in Jenks.
We have numerous concepts that are interested in going there. Currently, we have High Five, which is similar to Main Event. We also have Climb Jenks that's interested in being on the aquarium campus. They have an existing location in Midtown Tulsa. In addition to that, we have a 50-acre retail development right on 121st, and then 40 acres of mixed-use development immediately north of that. In addition to that, a 200-unit multifamily apartment complex that's high-end. It's a $40 million project. So we think that'll bring in quite a few people from outside of Jenks and frankly, even outside of the Tulsa metro area.
And so we're getting closer to being a fully developed little economy here in Jenks. We've got so many good things happening, and I think in the next couple of years, you're gonna be able to do pretty much everything that you need right here in Jenks proper. Well, thank you all so much for joining us for today's State of the City Luncheon. Gosh, it was so good to hear from every department head about what they're doing in their departments to make Jenks the great city that it truly is. Thank you for all of your hard work in making this past year such a success, but I'm looking forward to all of the good work that lies ahead for the future of Jenks. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great day.